To the retired Colonel Tony Dean. Obviously, this has escalated to the level where you have principal players on the same UN Council now saying we're getting very different impressions of the same event and trying to put the focus on the United States for doing something that went way beyond what was necessary. So I can't imagine there'd be unanimity on the response to this from the United Nations, or am I missing something?
No, I think you're exactly right. I think, you know, the Russians and the Iranians and its bloc of countries that follow it will say that America was the aggressor. But I think the good news that happened last night was we put some teeth back into the policy that America will not stand for the use of weapons of mass destruction anywhere in the world.
You know, Tony, what I don't understand, obviously, Ambassador Nikki Haley made it clear that if this kind of thing happens again, we're prepared to move again, which flies in the face of what the Secretary of State Tillerson had said, that this was a one-off. Now, obviously, they seem to be preparing for the possibility that with Russian cover, the president in Syria will do this again. Then what do we do?
Well, I think if the chemical weapons use, what I got from the Secretary of State's comments was that if chemical weapons are used again, we'll use force again, and if not, we will work towards a political way to end the conflict there in Syria. But I think, you know, we can do both. If the Syrians continue to use chemical weapons, we have to respond.
Or do you think in this case, I'm sorry, Tony, do you think that the powers that be, whether they be in Syria, whether they be in Russia, just misread President Trump, that either this idea that he was not going to do anything to offend Vladimir Putin, that was disproven, this notion that he was critical of President Obama in his dealings with Syria, even getting involved in Syria, that he wouldn't respond the way he did to this, that they just miscalculated?
Well, I think that's a big part of it. They just miscalculated, and in a lot of ways, you know, we get in this false choice in these insurgencies, in these battles, and it's either 100,000 troops or no one. And I think, you know, this was a correct response to the action. You know, should we be knee deep in Syria? No. But do we need to work to end the conflict and use the military force to do it? Absolutely. And I think the Syrians and the Russians misread it.
All right. Is there such a thing, real quickly, as a one-off? Can you really be one and done when it comes to something like this?
Well, no. Well, yeah. That's on the Syrians and Bashar if he stops using chemical weapons.
All right. Thank you very much. Colonel Tony Dean, U.S. Army, served this country very nobly, very proudly. Thank you, sir.